Hey, what's going on?
Everybody? How are you? Good. Yeah, they brought it to me. I had a small role in James Franco's The Disaster Artist. I played the role of Denny, remake of The Room, and Seth was in that film, and we met on that. We didn't have a whole lot of scenes together, but a couple weeks afterwards, got an email, and they were making a show, and they were like, "Love to pitch it to you and see if you want to do it." And they did, and the pitch was insane, and I was like, "Well, you know what? Yes, I'm in." Since I haven't done TV, I don't know what TV feels like, but this just felt like a really hard movie. Yeah, I mean, the scope and scale of the show was insane, and the sequences and whatnot were very cinematic and massive, so I felt very much like a film. Yeah, he's a janitor by day at a sexual disease research center. And he's also like a very immersed video gamer by night. And he's playing this one game called the Biotic Wars, and it's like the unbeatable game that no one's ever beaten, and he finally beats it one night and finds out that game was actually a simulator sent from the future to find the chosen one to save all of humanity. And thus ensues the story of a run through time to try to save the world. I don't. A whole lot. I play some, occasionally. I lost internet at my house about 2 years ago, and still haven't gotten it to work yet. So great question! Call Time Warner, because they've been to my house 15 times. You can't figure it out. There you go. Yeah, so my online gaming is definitely taking a sharp decline now that I don't have online capabilities. Definitely not a badass. No, he's sort of like a bewildered fish out of water. You know, he's always lived in this kind of fantasy world in his mind, and then the fantasy is brought to reality, and he doesn't quite know how to handle it. But I wouldn't say he's the straight guy, because he's like, there's a lot of comedy that he's involved in, but at the same time, oh, thank you. But at the same time, it's like, it's sort of the contrast of his. He's sort of the audience in a way, and then the other people that come into the show kind of represent the madness that he's going through. But he's got some real funny stuff. It's hard to walk in heels. It's even harder to run in them. Yeah, I don't really know. No possums were harmed in the making of the show. 4 months, yeah. I had to count because I keep thinking like, oh no, we've been shooting this for years, but it's actually only been 4 months. Yeah, we just wrapped last Friday. Yeah. Yeah, I think what's really great is that the show is the roots of the show, and almost every plot and storyline. It's not like for a joke. It's the reality of these people trying to save all of humanity, and so because of that, the plot is very driven in a non-comedic fashion. So it was kind of like taking that world that we know from, especially from the classic 80s sci-fi films, Back to the Future, Last Starfighter, Quantum Leap, all that stuff, and then sprinkle some Seth Rogen on top, and you get this. And what I think is fun about it is it's a way to access this genre that's, I think, really unique. And we've seen like funny sci-fi stuff before, but this really balances life or death scenarios with the comedy that we're creating as well. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I just watched all the episodes the other day, and I didn't want. I was up to like 4 a.m. I was like, I'm gonna watch one. Okay, one more. I was like, oh shit, no, you gotta binge it. It's so, yeah. You just get hooked, and the story, because it's all driven by that story, and it's like a typical like comedy, so to speak, where it's like funny bits. Like there is a mission that we are trying to complete, and so when you can binge the whole thing, you want to see that mission come to fruition. Man, I love the 60s. But also, like, people think, like, oh, free love in the 60s and, like, civil rights activism. We're a lot more free today than we were in the 60s, so it's still, like, stepping backwards in that sense. I'd be curious to go, like, maybe 20 years into the future and see how badly we're doing. Or if something, a miracle has happened and, like, we've somehow turned things around. Right now I'm on a little bit of a break, yeah. There's like a couple, I wanted like a indie film, like a kind of dark indie film to sort of balance this out, because this is not dark. It's dark in moments, but yes. So I'm trying to find that maybe for the fall, but for the next few months, just kind of taking it easy. It was great. Yeah, it's really. I mean, yeah, it was more so in like story points, plot, characters, things like that. I wasn't like making phone calls and setting up locations or anything like cool. But yeah, it was great. I mean, it's a super collaborative team, and for me to be a big part of the show and to not only lend myself and my face, but also my creativity behind it is very satisfying. And it helps you just feel more secure in that environment when you can kind of help steer the ship some. Oh yes, yes. I can't wait for people to see it. I'm not like, it's not a whole lot of me in there, but you get some classic Denny for sure. I did not meet Tommy Wiseau. Really disappointed about that. But I've heard many stories. Yeah, dude, Franco was insane. So good. He would stay in character between takes. Like, he couldn't stop himself from talking in the accent. He had to keep saying it, like, okay, do it again. Just like kept like in that world. It was. I had seen it, but not fully gotten it, I think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, good point. But after James is like, have you seen this movie? And I was like, I think I've seen it at some point. He's like, watch it again and then come play this character. And I was like, all right, I'll say yes. And then I watched it and I was like, oh shit. Okay, great. Yeah, completely. And everybody was so committed to their characters. It was just like the most like committed group of actors I've ever been around, all just going for this outlandish thing. It was really, really good. Yeah. Awesome. Great guys.